I found this Mantis in the garbage, but the pull cord doesn't recoil. So I'm going to take these screws out and spray the mechanism with WD-40 and see if that helps. Looks pretty crusty in there. So let's spray for days. I think the can's mostly empty though. There, I guess the can's not empty. Is this too much? Is this overkill? Alright, I'll stop. Does that look like it's soaked enough? Looks pretty good to me. Alright, it's back in. Now the big question is, does it have compression? Yep. This is really supposed to be the easy part, but it's giving me trouble. Ever since I replaced my struts, there's been a god-awful noise every time I take a right turn. And I think it's because of this. That's called the stabilizer bar end link, or the sway bar end link. And it's not supposed to be hanging out in the breeze like that. It's supposed to be in this hole right here, but the threads are kind of broken off. So I'm gonna put in a new one. First I'm gonna spray the old one with WD-40 though, so it'll come out easier. The problem with trying to get this out is as I put leverage on the breaker bar, the stabilizer bar just flexes. I can't get the nut off. So now I put the top of the link back in the hole, even though the threads are broken, just to add a bit more support, and we'll see what happens. And it looks like it's working. Not a lot of room to move in here though. What's happening is what I thought might happen, which is that the whole thing is turning and not just the nut. So we're gonna have to do it a different way. Luckily, Toyota provided a provision for a 5mm Allen wrench. So I got the Allen wrench in the stud and a 14mm gear wrench on the nut, and it's coming off. It's a pretty good design, I guess. So now let me see if I can use a pry bar one-handed to pop this thing out of here. There it goes. And then I'll use my big strong hands to get the other half out. There it is. Here's the old rusty worn out link with the broken stud on one end, and here's the new one, which is, you know, unassuming, but not all worn out and rusty, and it doesn't have a broken stud. It went into the bottom really easily. The top is a little bit out of alignment, so I'm gonna have to pry down the sway bar, and I don't know if I can do that one-handed, so I'll see you in a second. So what I did was I put the bottom in and put the nut on loosely just to hold it in place, and then I used a pry bar to pry down on the sway bar right here, and by doing that I was able to get the top of the link to go in the hole. And if I had brought a tripod with me, I would have shown you all that, but I didn't. Sorry. What I'm gonna do now is put some blue Loctite on the threads. Maybe that's a little too much. And then I'm gonna do the same on the other stud down below. How's that look? It's like the first time I ever used Loctite in 30+ years. The top nut tightened up pretty easily, but the bottom one is just spinning the way it was when I was trying to get it off. So I guess I'm gonna have to use the Allen wrench trick again. The problem with that is the bolts on the new part are 15mm, and I don't have a 15mm wrench. So I'm gonna have to use this old adjustable wrench and see what happens. So I got it tight. Now, I would never normally recommend using an adjustable wrench or something like this, but as long as you use it correctly, it is directional, so tighten it in that direction. You should be able to get away with it, at least with something like this that doesn't really need to be torqued too heavily. See, this probably makes all the real mechanics cringe, but it got the job done. So now, instead of riding around with this broken link and making horrible clunking noises when I take a right turn on any kind of slanted road, I can ride around with this nice brand new one, which is bolted in place as it should be, and it should get rid of that awful noise. So, from Newburgh, New York, specifically the parking lot of Advanced Auto Parts, thanks for watching.